So take a seed packet. We're going to read our seed packets and take one of these handouts if you don't already have it. And take a lima bean seed. Hopefully one that's not been opened up would be good. Take a seed packet, Ernie, and a handout if you don't have one, and a lima bean. There should be enough. Here's a beautiful lima bean. You can see its little roots sticking out already. Did you get a bean?
No.
Oh, that's
Thank
a
you.
perfect bean. Okay. Hi. Take a seed packet and a handout if you don't already have one. And a lima bean. Here's a good lima bean. It's falling apart, but that's perfect. That's what we want. And take a seed packet and a handout if you don't already have one. There, yeah, you can have this one. And you'll need a seed packet, please. Which you can return to me after class. It doesn't matter which one you get.
Take a lima bean, take a
Sorry,
seed
you
packet.
don't get to keep it today. Did you get a seed packet? No. And a lima bean. Well, they're germinating, so they're popping open. And I was just going to see if I can find a good one here. Some are a little more exciting than others because they've got more going on. Oh, look at this one. The root is almost to explode. Take that one. Okay.
That's awesome.
Does this look like about the right amount of people for group number 3?
Mm-hmm.
So,
When your group, okay. You didn't lose you all. So everybody has a seed packet, right? Okay, good. So on the back of your seed packet, this one along the edge has all of this critical, vital information. Sometimes it's on the top, somewhere in the middle, there's a line in the middle. This is like the minimum that you have to read on your seed packet. So you could not read any of the rest of it and you'd probably get along just fine if you read this. But the rest of it's full of great stuff too. Like mine says, to plant these cucumbers if I have cold winter, that I should plant between May and June. If I have a mild winter, I can plant between April and June. So what that also tells me is that, oh, it's probably too hot to plant cucumbers from seed in July. That would be like too late. I've missed the boat for growing seeds, cucumbers from seed. So it also says to put in full sun. Your seed packet say something about sun or shade or, okay. And this says sow seeds 4 inches apart and 1 inch deep. That's pretty darn deep, 1 inch. That goes against the general rule, because these are tiny seeds. And the general rule is that you're going to only put your seed as deep as the width of the seed. So like a lima bean seed is this wide. So that's about how deep we would plant the lima bean.
is that the width or the length?
This is, well, it's the biggest part. Whatever is the biggest. It's the width. It's the length. You know, it's bigger.
For the longest part.
Yes.
That's
Yeah. And it's better to err on planting a seed too shallowly than too deeply, because all of this stuff in the seed, this big thick part, is food that keeps the little seedling alive before it emerges from the soil and can start performing photosynthesis. This is starch. And so if it's planted too deeply, it will consume all of this food before it ever reaches the surface. And so it won't ever come up, and you'll think, why did my plants germinate? I planted them 4 inches deep. Isn't that right? That's how I planted a tulip bulb. Shouldn't that work for everything? So you need to read your seed packet.
And what happens if you plant it too shallow?
Well, it could force itself out of the ground. It could not. But that's why it's better to err on being a little too shallow if you really don't know. But a good rule of thumb again is to plant it as deep as the seed is wide, the biggest width. And I have read things that say 4 times the width of the seed. I read a lot of different things, but I think it's this. It's as deep as the seed is wide or long, the longest part of the seed. That's how deep. So this is like, I don't know, more than almost an inch.
Silly question, but are you going to put it flat down on the ground, or how are you going to put it?
Yeah, I'm gonna lay it down like that.
Cool.
Okay. With its top open. Because it magically knows, the root knows to go down, and the root comes out first, which is what we have here. And this little piece that's right here in the center, this little indentation is kind of the weakest part of the seed, and that's where the water enters.